I muted this part on accident. Don't worry, there's audio coming.
Welcome to a very special, scary Halloween edition of the game that everybody's playing. It's win, lose, or draw. Come on in if you dare and join our host, the devil is Mickey Lara Jules. With Vicky's ghostly guest, devilishly star of the classic horror movie The Exorcist, the lovely head turner, Linda Blair. And star of the Steven Spielberg blood-curdling horror film Poltergeist, proving that good things do come in small packages, the wonderful Zelda Rubinstein. He starred as the fiendish American werewolf in London, now getting monster laughs in Goddess of Love, the terrific Mr. David I'm a Pepper Norton. And he was the screamers Gomez Adams in the television classic The Addams Family Thank You Thing. Academy Award nominee, John Aston. And here she is, shake, rattle, and roll. Your mama wears army boots. Vicky Lara Jules.
Well, welcome to Win, Lose, or Draw. Happy Halloween.
Welcome to Match Games Salute to Halloween. And from Mother's Family, Vicki Lawrence. As we play the all-new, star-studded Match Game. And here's the star of Match Game, Count Von Rothschafer.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Oh, here we are. This is a salute to Halloween, I guess, huh?
Is it really?
Yeah.
You know who I am?
No, who are you?
I'm Little Red Riding Crotch.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this. I'm sorry, where's the wolf when you need him?
That's right. When you sit down, no one will notice now.
Okay.
You're just fine. So this is what we're going to have. I hope you're having a nice Halloween.
I was working in the lab late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight. For my monster...
Behind these numbers is a puzzle. Can you solve it? Bell plus a, bell a. Lou plus go plus C. Lou go C. Bella Lou go C. If you can do that, you could win one of these 8 fabulous cards as we play Classic Concentration. And now, welcome to Halloween week on Classic Concentration with our host, Alex Trebek.
Hola, Jim. Gracias, amigos. Gracias. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, all of this week on our program, every one of us is dressing up in a costume. Today, I can't figure out if I'm dressed as a poor matador or an overdressed waiter. It doesn't matter. We're here to have fun, and before we meet our contestants, I would like you all to meet a special friend of mine. This young guy's name is Jeff Bright. He came by to visit with me today, and he obviously likes wearing strange hats also. You gonna go in the audience and watch and have some fun with us? Okay, you go up there, and I'll go over here and introduce the players. And our Randy Stone, the cowboy, who's a wonderful... Why do I keep going into these weird accents? I can't figure out what I am.
Welcome, trick-or-treaters. It's time to play Family Feud's annual spectacular Halloween special. Returning for their second day, it's the Bronson family. Playing against the Harbin family. And now, here's your host, the father of our country, John O'Hurley, and his son, William.
There he is. Man, yes, the father of his country and his progeny. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. I now know why they celebrate Washington's birthday with a linen sale. I feel like I'm wearing half of my grandmother's living room right now. How are you? And welcome to Family Feud's Halloween special. Can you say hello to the people out there and show them your hat? Yay, there it is right now.
Jeff Sudo has already won $16,000. He is back to try to make it again to the bonus sprint. Today on Scrabble. An 8-letter word. The clue is he's easy to see through. It's the crossword game you've played all your life, but never quite like this. And here's your host, Chuck Woolery.
All right. Thank you, Charlie Tuna. I want to welcome Henry Clay Junior High School and Assumption School here. All my friends are up in the audience, and we're having a good time having them here on Trick or Treat Week. Today, the jackpot in our bonus sprint stands at $5,000. Winner's going to get a chance at that later on in the show. Now, you probably already noticed that it's Trick or Treat here. Maybe you didn't, but if you did, then you'll know that it's also Trick or Treat on all the rest of the NBC shows. So stay tuned because we have a few surprises in store for you for this show.
Oh, well, step right up. It's Tuesday night, and welcome to the Hunt Hour. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by the Hunt Collective. And here's the stars of our show. Susie Fleesick, she's straight up demonic. And Troy Crivolo, he's just scratching the surface. And Dan Doble, he's here, so park your rear. And our first contestant up tonight is Brian and Liana Robinson from Fatal Fear Haunted House. All right, contestants, it's time to play. So sit up straight, hands on your buzzers, thinking caps on. And let's welcome you to another edition of The Hunt Hour. Hi! I'm Troy.
Hi. I'm not Troy.
That's Chris. Oh, he's over there. That's Christopher.
Yeah. Yep.
He doesn't have a shirt on.
No,
we are here today. I know Sean's not here. You're right. It's Sean's not here. So Sean does not get 15 points or 5 points or whatever points he gets for the Haunties this week because he's not here. He's on some cruise with his wife on his anniversary or something. I don't know.
People still celebrate that?
After so many years, you just go, you just wake up and you go, hey, how's it going?
Yep.
Is that not how you're supposed to do that? Are you?
That's how I've always done it.
Well, that's why you live outside in the garage.
No, I live in the attic
with the flowers. That's an old person reference. Anyways, welcome to the Haunt Hour. We are eagerly awaiting our co-hosts that I don't know if they're going to come or not. Dan says he's on his way home from work. I don't know what that is. And Susie's on the phone trying to become a Spirit Airline stewardess. So she's
Dan works.
Don't try to bait me into anything like that because I'm just going to say no, he doesn't. We do have Christopher here, who is always Christopher, put that up.
Yeah, I'm doing that right now.
Yeah. Yes, yes. Actually, right now I am in the lead, Mike. There's a first time for everything, So I'm sure it's all downhill from here.
Great. Just another thing to expand your massive ego already.
Where? I do not have a massive ego. I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't have a massive ego. Oh, that's me. Hi, I'm Troy.
Yeah.
I don't have an ego.
Yeah. Unfortunately, people can't see me do the air quotes when I say, yes, you're so humble.
Everybody knows me as humble. Everybody who
Yeah.
cashes the check knows me as
Yes, humble, good old humble Troy.
humble Troy. That's gonna be my Texas Hunters Convention costume. I'm just gonna be a humble guy.
You humble. That's gonna be scary.
I'm just gonna walk around and I'm gonna talk so low. People have to go, what? What did he say? What did he say? What does he say? And I'll just be like, you look great today. And they'll be like, thanks. And I'll be like, see, I'm humble. I'm not from Humble though. That's where the guys from 916 Rust are. They're from Humble, Houston, Humble, Texas. So yes, welcome to another amazing episode of the Haunt Hour, where our show is never an hour. That's basically what it is. So to start off tonight, I think we'll get into, because we have plenty of amazing hunting news.
Yes, so much hunting news.
Hunting news is the best. It's like the highlight of my week. And I found a lot this week. So we will start off with sad stuff to get that out of the way, even though it's sad. We did lose kind of a godfather of mask making. Maybe a little more on the economical side, because there's plenty of, you have like immortal masks and things like that are more on the expensive side. Philip Zagoni is the founder of Be Something Studios, as well as helped his sons create Zagoni Studios, and all of them are, that's their last name. Me, Christopher, Jim Erickson, Bonnie, and Kevin wear their masks as the old folks. We bought them one time just as a thing. We saw, they had the best looking old man mask that fit my face, and it looked good, and it moved with me, and it wasn't $700. It was like 50 or $60. So we bought that, I bought that, and I made Wilbur, and then Christopher came in right behind me, or right with me there, and made Wilma. And of course, Wilma is a big fan of Mr. Unicorn.
I love Mr. Unicorn.
Wilma, I didn't know Wilma was I didn't know Wilma was up this late. That's great.
If there's Mr. Unicorn and conversation going on, I'm always up.
You're up on something. So
shush it, young man.
We have been friends with the Zagoni family for a long time. We went to their factory one time and hung out with them all day. They are fantastic. They're a fantastic group of people. And it is very sad to hear that their father has died.
Yeah.
He's been around for a long time. And
didn't he do something for the old folks Christmas special? Wasn't that Phil, or was that, I can't remember.
No, that was Phil Jr. and Tony. I think they both
that's
did
right.
something. So yeah, we've done old folks Christmas specials before, where we do songs and skits and whatever, the old variety show style thing. And they did a part for us in one of those. And they've sponsored the Terror Tours before, and they've been at every convention we've gone to, and we always, every time, we don't have to be in our old folks stuff. They of course love it when we come up to them with the old folks characters, but we come up in our regular everyday, scary selves, and they always come out and be like, hey, how's it going? Not just, hey, do you want to buy something? I mean, it's a genuine friendship that we have with them.
One of the fond memories I have from actually the whole Zagoni team was when we first came up to them as the old folks, and we told them that we use your masks, we do it for the old folks, and a variety of people use it, and Troy, he's old man Wilbur, Christopher, he's Grandma Wilma, and oh yeah, great, you're using our old folks mask. They were completely floored when I walked up to them as Wilma using their old man mask.
Yeah.
They're like, we never thought that this mask could do something like that, because you put I put makeup on the mask, and I wear a wig, and I glued some real dangly earrings to the earlobes and stuff, and there's Wilma, and they were shocked. They were like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing ever. The fact that every old person character is using their DOA mask or their old man mask, including the old women. So, yeah. Oh yeah. God, there we are.
Yep. So it's a
And
very
the funny thing is that unicorn that I'm holding right there is actually sitting on my desk.
Oh, hey there, we're getting a little risky. So yeah, and there's Jim in the back. That's another one of their masks. They actually have that you can get their masks at Spirit Halloween, I believe, and at Spencer's, and of course Zagoni, Studios Online. But they are very awesome people. They're very humble. They're very, their shop's very small. Almost the entire family works there. So our deepest condolences and rest in peace to Philip there. So like I said, we have plenty of good happy news too. Probably the first sighting. I know Joanne's has a little bit of stuff out, but they kind of always are weird about their stuff. At Home has been, and it may not be yours yet, but At Home has been sporadically putting out their Halloween stuff. At Home is definitely more of like, Target kind of had a lot of stuff where it was like desk stuff and like, bookshelf things and, filler props that you could put in your scenes and things like that. Target was doing that for a little while, but At Home has always kind of been the king of that stuff. And so they have a lot of things that you could just put out just for decorations, just as a general, just a person who loves Halloween. But there's also things like these big Reapers. They've got some angels. They've got some, some smaller Reapers and some bigger Reapers. Lots of things that to fill your space. A lot of us don't, the people that come through our things don't notice some of these things. Haunters always do. Haunters always notice these type of details. But what we don't realize is that the reason that normals don't see this stuff is because we make it look natural. And so they know it's there because it should be there. And if it wasn't there, people be like, well, I don't feel like I'm in this Victorian thing with these cool picture frames and these old candles and, or whatever set you're trying to set is you're obviously trying to immerse them in it. And so I think when people say, oh, well, they don't notice the little details, I think it's because they know that they're there. And if they weren't there, then they would notice. And so don't sit there and say, oh, well, I don't need to do the little detail stuff. Places like At Home can help you bring that, sell those rooms.
Yeah, that crow lantern there, I actually kind of want to add that to my collection. Where I'm going to put that, I have no idea, but I just love the look of it.
Who cares? Yep. I know they have one right now that it is a 6 foot tall Reaper. I didn't get that picture up. But it is a 6 foot tall Reaper that is standing on a rest in peace like base. And it doesn't have any lights or anything like that. I like that this crow has a light in it. But it's like $200 and it's supposedly ceramic. And I think the person more meant blow mold. They did say that it was heavy. It is $200. And I'm like, okay, that's definitely for the people that don't know how to do monster mud. Because I think almost all of us can put a skeleton in a stand a skeleton up on a piece of foam and wrap it in monster mudded bed sheets and get a very similar, if not even more detail. Like there was very minimal dry brushing on it. It was kind of like this. There's a little bit of dry brushing on the crow, but the rest of it is just matte black. We know I know Christopher, when he buys that, he will absolutely add more detail to the stand.
Yeah.
And to the lantern itself. That lantern is very bland. There's a lot of stuff you can do with that lantern and the stand itself.
And sometimes those lanterns, it's a bright white light. And I hate I hate bright white lights and that kind of stuff. I want to see a flickering LED light bulb, candle bulb or something like that in there. And so I'll modify it like that. Troy, you're just making the point of, yes, there are haunters out there that can take a skeleton, they can throw a sheet around it, saturate it in monster mud and do exactly what you're talking about. But there are haunters out there that they don't want to spend the time and the effort in doing something like that. And if something like that, hey, it costs $200, but that means I don't have to do the labor. That they're fine with that. So
and that's the whole point behind Home Depot.
Yeah.
Is that I honestly could not make a 12-foot skeleton for $299. There's no way I could make that myself. There's no way I can make a skeleton horse for $200 or whatever it is. There's no way. And that's what I hate when people say on these posts, oh, that price is ridiculous. Then you go make it. You're not making 3 or 4 million of them to get them down to that price. Of course, Home Depot is probably paying like 20 or 30 bucks for each one of those 12-foot skeletons. We all know that. That's how retail works.
Mm-hmm.
But you could not personally make a 12-foot skeleton for under $300 unless it is out of absolute garbage, and not to say that garbage wouldn't be a great way to do it. See, 36 inch. That's 3 feet. 12,
mm-hmm.
3 feet. But like that welcome skeleton guy with the top hat, I want that for my front porch all the time. I want it there all the time. I think that would look really cool because in Texas,
my HOA would say I need to take the holiday decoration down.
Well, you made the silly choice to live in an HOA. So
I know.
Next week on the Haunt Hour, we talk about HOAs and how to dismantle them from the inside out.
That'll be a 4-hour show,
right? But here in Texas, and like it was not this way in Oregon at all. In Texas, everybody has these welcome wood signs on their door, or there's different types of welcome signs that are leaning up against people's doors, or they have the round disc on their door that says something. Sometimes it's hey, how's it going? Fuck off, or it's something really nice as well. There's lots of silly ones that I've seen out there too, but almost everybody has some sort of a welcome sign on the side of their door. And I have a welcome sign on one side of my door. I don't have anything on the other side of the door. So obviously
mine just says go away.
I've seen that. I see that a lot when I drop off groceries for people. So probably the next item up for bids on this game show edition of Haunt Hour is the Chamber Bowl has significantly progressed since our last episode. Unfortunately, Crawford School of Terror beat out our upcoming guests from Fatal Fear. I think that this is an abomination. I think that it is wrong. I think that there should be a recount. And I am coming to everybody's house who did not vote for Fatal Fear.
So that's how I get you to come to my house then. Okay.
Yeah, just vote against what I say to vote for and I'll come to your house.
Yeah. Well, my friend D told me to vote for the other one because it's up in Pennsylvania. It's back in our old stomping ground. So,
this one was really hard. And I complained to the manager day after day after day on this one because you put our co-host, Susie, up against a future guest and my home state now. I mean, but I'm going to Pennsylvania in September. Like there was so much turmoil in my head that I had to vote. I had to make up 17 more Facebook profile pages so that I could vote for different ones.
And you still lost, and Texas still lost.
I know, right? But Texas did win the next week or the next day with Afterlife, which is up near me in Paris, Texas. They did win. Horror win, Nightmare from Hell, Haunted Hill Farm, and Hardyville have moved on. Bone Cemetery beat out Bat City, another Texas haunt. So we've had two Texas haunts lose, Greystone and Bat City. Oh, and Fatal Fear. So 3. And we've had 2 move on, Afterlife and Twin Oaks Manor. And so we still have some Texas going in there. I don't know who the rest of the other ones will be on the right side there. But it looks like today is Sinister Tombs and Dark Woods. He's got to get a better graphics person for this. I think I might help him out next year. But yes, so every day you can vote for a new bracket. You go on Chamber of Haunters on their Facebook page and you can click on this little thing and it takes you to this little thing right here. And you can say, you know what? I'm going to vote for the Dark Woods. I think that's a cool sounding name. I don't know anything about them. I'm going to look it up later. Oh, Sinister Tombs is killing it. They are killing it today. So for the first several rounds, we never saw this thing. So if you're friends of the Dark Woods, you probably need to get your friends in on this and get them voting there. Next week we'll have a further update. I'm sure the whole right side of the bracket will be filled in, if not more by then. The next thing we've got going is my friends up and in Chicago, Evil Intentions Haunted House has moved. They lost the location they were in was an 1800s casket factory. Perfect place for a haunted house in Elgin, Chicago, Illinois, just outside of Chicago. And they needed to move. So they have now moved out to a place called reload the page. Cool. Forsaken Hollow. So what they're doing is this is a racetrack, so like a raceway type of infield and stuff like that. It's going to have the haunted house. It's going to have a pumpkin patch. It's going to have a paintball course. It's going to have a corn maze, and some laser tag. There's some mini golf, a covered queue line. That's big in Chicago because God, it can rain in Chicago in October. It can also snow. They have had snow many times on Halloween. So there's also music venues, food trucks, shops. They're actually going to make this like old timey town square. They actually kind of show that's kind of the complex. That's significant. It looks like the majority of it will be covered, which is great. This is kind of their concept for like the inside of the so you have a music venue, you've got an outside bar type of thing, which would be cool. And then this is their like shops idea. So think, old timey Victorian stuff. So that'll be cool. So next, and they're opening this October. They closed at the old location last October. They're opening in this October. So if
that's that's going to be a lot of work.
It is. I have a feeling Forsaken Hollow has been working on the rest of it for a while, and then Evil Intentions joined up as the haunted house.
Okay,
so it is a joint venture. I don't know if they're keeping Evil Intentions as the name of the haunt. I'm really good friends with the owner, and so I need to ask him that. I would like to have him on the show because he is a fantastic guy. His cast and crew loves working for him. Evil Intentions, full disclosure, is my favorite indoor haunt. And that's not to say anything to slight against Alan Hops and Dark Hour. I love Dark Hour. But this Evil Intentions has had me on my knees several times. Just when I went through in last October, they got me in a room and they knew it. They knew what they were doing in that room, and they ramped it up when I came in, and I walked in there, and it was like they came at me full bore, and I did get down on my knees. I was like, I don't know if I can go any farther, and I'm, people have been through haunts with me before, so they know. So it's Chicago is one of the biggest areas of haunting out there. In such a small area, you can see a ton of haunts, a ton of home haunts, all in like a weekend. Like me and my friend Tristan went there one year, and we saw like 45 home haunts and like 8 pro haunts on a Thursday to a Monday. And because there's just home haunts around the corner from home haunts, and then around the corner is a pro haunt, and then more home haunts. So it's an amazing place to go. So next up, we have some. Yes, Shane, they did. Yes, that was one of the reasons that I wanted to go to MHC was to witness that coming up. But we have some convention news in the aspect of costumes. I love the costumes that were at MHC this year, the ones that I got pictures of anyways. They did some, what is all my freaking chats up there? You don't be looking at my private stuff. This one I like a lot, and they won best group. And these syringes light up and everything. I think there's a better. I like that one because it's the cow inflatable and eat more people instead of the chicken.
That's a good one.
This was the scariest costume. Okay, I mean it can be scary, I guess, if you're scared by alien guy, Badlands type of thing. I guess
That's pretty good. That's good. That's good though.
They won. I set my thing to not. So you can see how everything lights up on her arm, and I really like that. That's a cool effect. And the lighting in the room here did a really good job too.
I swear I've seen that effect. I swear I've seen that before.
It looks
light
like
up
she
syringes.
homemade that, but maybe she made it off of what you saw. Maybe she was inspired by somebody, who had done something like that.
Mhm.
But I do like how, they really played this up. And suppose I talked to Chris and Sammy about, and they said they really played it up while they were there.
There she is.
There she is. So Chris Roosh from Dozer and Into the Fear, Chris was on our show, last couple months ago, and Sammy, they made them, Stilt Beast, and another person, I can't remember who else helped make this. It'll be on the next page. But a lot of that's 3D printed, and this is Chainsaw Sammy for a lot of you that know, and so she won Best Costume. And you can
Those
see
wings. Those wings were amazing.
Oh yeah. So the mask is immortal. The 3D printed exoskeletons is by Prince, which is the company that Chris and Sammy help run. They own it. Stilt Beast Studios did the corset, and then the costume and the design was overall done by Chainsaw Sammy Taylor. But yeah, these wings are amazing. So I like to see something. I like that that's something new. That's something, you don't see a lot of bugs. Bob Cole does a lot of bug stuff, and he made that praying mantis costume that one time, but you don't see a lot of bug costumes in haunts or in costume balls. So this was definitely cool. And let's see, probably the last bit of convention news. If you are planning on coming down to Texas, now that MHC is over, the next show is Texas. And all of the classes are up, as well as the make and takes. And we've got several. We got 3D printing repair and basics. So if you have something that you've printed that you need repairs, you got some burns. You've got character creation, airbrushing, sliding. Let's see. You got how to make blood, motor stuff, prop work stuff.
I need
sounds.
Need that blood one.
Yeah.
I need to go to that blood one.
Coagulated blood. They also have, let's see, what's make and takes. Make and takes. We've got my wife is doing a tombstone class. Ooh, she's doing a tombstone class. I am doing solar swamp lanterns, so you can learn how to make solar swamp lanterns. Really easy and really fun. Even kids and adults, everybody can make it. And I believe this is the one that I want to take. And before I say who it is, I want to make sure it's what I remember. It's Melissa Winton, who was on our show a couple weeks ago. You'll be building a trapped prisoner prop. And this is like a full on, it's probably a smaller version of it, and then you can go home and make a larger version of it. But it's going to have motion triggered sound effects, motors, LEDs, everything. So it'll be really cool. Who just said that? Who said that?
Shane.
Shane, that is one of the things, and not just for Shane, but that's one of the things that I really like about the Texas Honors Convention is there's generally never a repeat class. Michael and Tiffany, Michael especially, make a really good deal of looking at the classes and making sure that it fits with the with the people who are coming. We don't want a bunch of just basic stuff. There's definitely some more advanced stuff in there. And it seems to be this year, especially seems to be a lot more hands-on stuff, not just like information. It's more stuff of, okay, this is how you're going to make this item. And yeah, we're not going to make and take it, but this is how you get to that point, and this kind of some steps and stuff. So I think that's it. There's a lot of unique classes that are done at Texas that you won't see anywhere else. And that's what I like about all these shows, is that every show has something the others don't offer. And I think Texas really shines with the classes because they are very unique to that show. So I really applaud Michael for taking the time. He gets a bunch of submissions and then he goes through it, and with the help of the other board members and stuff like that. And he'll ask opinions. He's asked me opinions of things. He's asked people, that I know, he's asked them opinions on, what about this class? What about this class? So he's asking the masses as well. So it's nice. I think, you know what? I think we'll do this really quick, and then we're going to get to our guest. This is one from Still P Studios. And the reason I picked it was because everybody loves pool noodles. Just a little hint. If you see this ladder over here on the left-hand side of his screen, the reason that ladder is there is because there is a giant there's like a paint booth building underneath that, but on top of it is nothing but pool noodles stacked to the ceiling. Just a bunch of black pool noodles and some colored ones too. But
man loves his pool noodles.
Oh, he probably has more pool noodles there than he does masks, and he's got a lot of masks in there. But this one is basically making a pool noodle witch, and one of the cool things that he does is to adhere the pool noodles together. He doesn't use glue. He actually heats up the pool noodle itself and sticks it to each other. And then it actually sticks and stays. So you're melting the pool noodle material, and then you're fusing it together. And he has props in Dark Hour that are made from pool noodles that have no adhesive on them at all. They're literally just heated pool noodle pieces together. So I've already put it in our DIY list.
One thing I want to make note of is because I've actually done this with the pool noodle fence that I made a number of years ago. Now, granted, it's attached to PVC, or there's PVC inside.
Right.
But the way I adhered everything together was I learned you heat it up and it sticks to one another. But you'll notice the space that he's in is extremely large, and his workspace is very well ventilated. So if you're ever going to do anything where you're going to be melting the pool noodles together, you need to either make sure you're doing it in a well ventilated area or that you're doing it outside, because the pool noodles, the foam does give off toxic fumes when it's heated up and melted. So make sure that you are in a well ventilated area.
Well, if you look right here on the very right-hand side is one of their giant roll-up doors, and it's actually higher than, it's probably up a good 8 feet. So plenty of ventilation. There's plenty of wind here, but he does have ventilation systems in the shop there too, because they're doing latex, they're doing all kinds of stuff in there, spray adhesive, all that kind of stuff. So there's plenty of chemicals going around that place.
Yeah.
So it's in our DIY of the week playlist. And I will post it up on our Facebook page in a little bit.
Yeah, definitely check it out. What he does with pool noodles is absolutely amazing. Yes. And it's very easy. So
yeah, he actually has several pool noodle things that he has put up over the last month or so on the Still P Studios YouTube Wednesday stuff. So it's kind of you go there every couple of weeks and see what he's got new, because there's always something new at Still P. But you know what else is new? That doesn't work. I'm so fearful of them not liking my segue that I think I'll just bring them on. See, they laughed.
Thank you for that one.
It's all good. They laughed.
Well, that's almost as bad as some dad jokes, Troy. So.
I have the best dad jokes ever. Like my intro where I said I was just scratching the surface and I'm scratching the stuff that Ashley made and not touching it because I know better. She has not seen that video yet, so nobody tell her, okay?
Too late.
Lips are sealed.
Stop that. Christopher, stop tattling on me.
That wasn't me. I'm just saying she already knows, dude.
Damn it, Troy. So Brian and Liana are from Fatal Fear Haunted House in the good old part of Texas, the center of Texas, Austin, Texas. And, okay, let's tone it down. Okay,
I know. It's just way too exciting.
This is way too much energy.
Bring it down.
We need to bring it down a little bit.
I don't know. It's already past my bedtime, so.
Oh well, then we will keep you up.
The kids, they're pretty feral right now. They'll probably bring up some excitement.
Actually, one of them is already in my backyard. So if you can come after the show, yeah. Why don't you guys start us off as we do with every guest? And if you want to do it separately, whatever, how you both got into Halloween in the beginning, kind of your childhood stuff, and then how you got into home haunting, and obviously how you guys met. I have my version of how you guys met, and mine's way better than yours, probably.
I think it actually is.
feel like
I'm
we're
going to go with yours.
Really going to
It probably is. It probably is. It
Because we're
involves
gonna rewrite the
Brian
history a
sitting on
little
the floor in the fetal position. Liana, she was a nurse for Halloween and she saved it.
Exactly.
It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. And the pee is still there, by the way. It stained the carpet. So
it is. It is. I keep it right here.
Right. It's a little souvenir. Isn't that like the 10-year anniversary is the pee stained carpet? Is that what you have to get? Yeah.
That's every anniversary. What are you talking about?
Yeah. All right. So let us know how you got into this crazy world.
You know, we both came from very conservative families, and Halloween was not a big part of our lives. It was not super encouraged. But my birthday falls the day before Halloween. So I always loved the season, loved Halloween, but was never able to fully get into it. Except for a little bit of trick-or-treating. We weren't really allowed to decorate or go all out or anything with the yard. And I think for Brian, it was pretty similar.
Yeah, it was really similar. It was like my parents were very staunch Catholics, and that's how my dad used to word it. He took me trick or treating. We did that type of thing when I was younger. Did the typical kid thing, but there was always a limit. And it's like every time we hit that limit, it'd be kind of like, okay, behave yourself. Get back over there. Go do something else. Here's a picture of a unicorn or something. I don't know. Yeah, but
well, and then we both married, not each other, but his wife, and then my husband. We were not each other's first marriage, but my first husband. It was a continuation of the same thing. Very conservative. We don't spend money on that. It's silly. So again, kept it simple, kept it squashed down. Same thing with him. And then we met on a dating app.
Yeah. Plug for Match.com. Plug for Match.com.
Yeah. Is still around?
Okay.
Is Match.com still a thing? I don't know.
It's for the old people now. It's like,
it was according to your story, we met on sexynurse.com and Piss Daddy. No.
Right. Yeah. Hey, we don't judge here.
Okay. Thank you.
But he had kids. I had kids. We
went to Vegas and
married,
had some more kids.
Had more kids, and then 1 year it was 2016. He said, "Let's go get a Halloween decoration," and I was all on board for that. All right, yeah, let's go. We went to Spirit. And back then, what I thought was he lost his mind. He spent, this is going to sound so stupid. He spent, how much did you spend?
It was $128, I think it was, on this little swinging girl.
Well, no. You bought the Grim Reaper and a swinging girl. I think altogether it was a little over $200.
Yep.
And I thought that was insane amount of money to spend. Oh, how far we've come, right?
Yeah, how far we've come.
Right?
Yeah, so now.
So that was our first Halloween where we put stuff out. We had animatronic, we did lights, and we did some, that little stretchy cobweb stuff that gets caught. And we did that, and we had so much fun. Neighbors came by, and it was like we were bit by a bug.
Yep.
And that was so. Got a fog machine too, didn't we?
Yeah, something like that.
But it was just a silly little front yard, couple little animatronics, and we couldn't stop talking about it and thinking about it. I think we were making up for lost time, and it kind of exploded after that.
That was the years following ramped up faster than probably anything I've ever done in my life.
Right.
All of a sudden, it was like two people going off of ADHD medication and just going for it. Mm-hmm. That original like $250 on a couple of props at Spirit went to let's go to Trans World on our first time, and we were like, budget, yeah, whatever, it's on.
actually, for those of you that haven't been to Transworld, they actually have a box outside of the entrance, and you're supposed to put your budget in there, and then they light it on fire. And so that, I mean, it's part of the process. You're fine after that. You just know after that. Just don't bring it with you.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it went full steam from there, and I think that was the point, or that was the time when we got introduced to Alan and Shannon, and Liana gets involved going to monster camps, and she's sculpting stuff, and we're ready to skip a whole bunch of stuff.
Well,
again.
the one important thing you skipped was after that first Halloween, it's like you were on, your brain was on crack with like, we got to do more. We got to do this. And he said, let's do a haunted house. You want to do next year? Let's do a haunted house. And I said, you like put up some decorations in the garage. He's like, no, like a haunted house where we have actors and costumes, and like we can't do that. We don't have people. We don't have the things. We don't. I said, no, we can't do that.
It's like go big or go home.
I think how the reason our relationship works so beautifully is because he comes up with an idea. Hey, Liana, do you think we can do this? And my first inclination is, no, we can't do that. That's too much. That's too big. And then he waits, and then I start thinking, well, could we? Well, hold on. What if we? And then I start researching, and then he knows how to feed my little ego just a little bit enough to keep me going. And then before you know it,
that's
building, and
that's me and my wife. Like I will think of something. Like this year we're doing a Frankenstein's lab, and that's all I had to say. I just said I want to finally do Universal Monsters, and we need to start with Frankenstein's lab. And I just said that, and she has a notebook that, of course, it's all haunting looking, it's all creepy and everything. She's got, I mean, probably 30 or 40 pages filled with things she wants to do. She watches the original Frankenstein movie over and over and over again, and pauses it and checks things as she's read the book probably 100 times. And so she catches all these little things, and that's exactly what it is we're like, okay, well, can we do this? And she's like, yes, we'll figure it out. And she'll come out to me, like I'll be in the garage making something, and she'll come out, she'll go, so you remember when you told me about that? So this is what we should do. So I totally understand that. So it's one of the hardest things in this industry is to be married to somebody who doesn't do haunting. So then when you find somebody who does do it and does enjoy it, my wife is the one that got me into Halloween. And so it's natural for us to just have those conversations all the time. We have it. I mean, we'll just be sitting around and be like, so what do you think about this? Or we should do this, or I saw this. And it's just a natural conversation that we have because we're both into it. So I love that you guys feed each other. And obviously, like you said, it's because of all of it being pushed down. And it's still, I don't think it's all come up yet. I think based on what I know about you guys personally, I know that it's still like down here. It still hasn't come all the way up yet. I think there's still more.
I hope so.
Right. So then you guys just decided basically we're going to do a walkthrough. And, how did you guys start with did you guys ever go with the black plastic walls, or did you go straight into full on wood and nuts and all that?
I mean, we had black plastic to a point, but our first haunt, we built with actual walls.
If we put black plastic up, it was just to black out a room where we put maybe jute, erosion cloth in front of that, or we didn't just have like a solid black plastic.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, because I remember going, looking at YouTube, going, okay, here's how you make some haunted house flats. Okay, let's. Now we're going to go buy some 2x3s and let's do this.
Yeah.
Next thing, the garage is full.
And so you did this at your house, right?
Yep.
And you're still and you're still at the house that you've done it at for several years, right?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Okay. And
For
the
now.
first year was the Fairy Tale Revenge. Was that the first year you guys
Oh,
did it?
very first year, there was no theme.
It
was kind of like a hodgepodge. We're going to show you a whole bunch of everything.
Okay.
And there was no storyline. There was nothing.
We were, just your overzealous, typical, super excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was everything but then after that first year and looking more, we started realizing, well, why is that haunt so good? Oh, there's a theme. There's a story. Okay, they're doing it right. So, we started learning.
Yeah, and then it really ramped up when we went into our second show for our first. I think this one here was our first Fairy Tale Revenge show. This was our second year right here, and this show was actually really fun, really fun.
Is this the one with the witch?
It is the one with the witch. About to leave the parlor and go into a motion room.
So
are those pictures that you had on the wall? Were those just some old pictures that you found at like a thrift store or something? Goodwill, yeah. See, I love that. I absolutely love just that little kind of a touch on the walls there like that.
Yeah.
I love going to the oddities, curiosities shows.
Yes.
And finding, those dealers that have a lot of the old, like flea market knick-knack antique stuff.
Yeah, and this room right here is the motion room. It's sitting on airbags, and the whole room moves. This was a fun one.
So your second year out, you're putting in airbag rooms.
We didn't waste time.
I hate you so much.
No, you don't.
I don't. That's why I moved here. I moved here to be around these
people. Right there. That's actually our family photo. That's like a little Easter egg in there.
Wait, we have to go back and find it.
Yeah, right.
So,
there.
you can't. Yeah, it's hard to see.
Oh, it's on the drop panel.
Yeah.
That's. Well, we're gonna have to find where is that picture? Eventually it got destroyed from all of the drop panel usage, but
right. So for the first year, did you guys go? Because I'm leading up to this because this is one of the best parts of your haunt that I love. Was the first year just outside and like in the garage and out and out around the back?
Oh no! No. We were always insane, and we had to go through the house.
Had to okay, but explain to me how that conversation went, because I know one of you was not keen on it, right?
Oh, absolutely not keen on it. But when I realized how much we would have to pull back and shorten everything.
God, you remember getting that thing? Sorry, the first dragon. Oh my God!
Like,
call him Gordon Lord. Where's Kevin Elby?
We didn't have the space we have a very tiny yard. Very tiny front yard, and our backyard has one gate to go into it. So we're so limited. It's like, okay, we have to go through the front door, and then we can just go down the hallway and then circle around and come out the garage, because the hallway, laundry room, garage, and then people come out, and we'll just cover everything where they can't see the rest of our house.
Right.
Well, that was cool, but then after realizing we put in months and months and months of work, and I don't know how many thousands of dollars.
Let's not count that.
To literally just add maybe 45 seconds of extra walking time.
Right.
That was a huge bummer. Like, wow, all that work and time, and it just added maybe 45 seconds to the haunt.
Right.
So every year, and most people don't know this, but every year, our layout would be drastically different. We would figure out new ways of going, whether you go in our front door, in our garage, outer garage, out the back through the gate, up through the living room window. And then what we started realizing, because we're trying to lengthen the haunt. First year was like 3 minutes. Next year was 5 minutes. Like, how can we squeeze out as much out of our little space?
Right.
And that's when we started realizing we can reuse the same space by going over and under. We'll just go up. So there were spaces in the backyard where you you're on a bridge, you go under the bridge, you're reusing the same space, and you don't really know it all the time.
Right.
Oh, and of course, the second-year home haunt walkthrough has a spinning tunnel. Of course.
They
of
do.
course.
They do. Of course.
Yeah. Because why not? I mean,
the first time he ever walked through a spinning tunnel it was at Cutting Edge in Dallas.
That made me nauseated.
And that was the first haunt he and I went to together. And he almost couldn't make it through that tunnel. He got so dizzy, and he hated it.
Yeah.
And so what do? The first thing you hate is the first thing you buy.
Of course. Because if it worked on you that well, it's going to work on somebody else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because I mean, it. Let's see. Oh, and then you have the Mortis Manor.
Yeah, this one was a fun one.
I still can't get over. Probably people watching didn't catch when you said it, but you said that you go through the living room window. Before we go further into this one, this is what the front of their house looks like. Okay,
yes.
So you can
see there's no front yard.
Because you have this giant thing of trees in a big like, whose idea was that? Please tell me it wasn't yours and I'm making fun of it.
It wasn't my idea.
Good. But yeah, you can tell how, I mean, this is, I mean, because last October was the first time I had ever seen their haunt, and I've seen their videos before and stuff like that. So I knew of them, but I went to their haunt last year. I can tell you right now, I had no idea this is what their place looked like at all. Because, and I'll show you guys a little bit later what they did to the front last year, but there's no way. I didn't even know you had trees behind that. I didn't know you had trees in your front yard because of what you guys did. So you do a very, very, as you heard me in the beginning about the immersiveness, I am very big into that. And yes, I knew I was on a street. I knew that I was on a residential street. But while I was in your driveway, I did not feel like I was at a home haunt and that I was at just somebody's garage, and that's, I mean, to turn this into, let's see, you kind of did it back here. There you can still see your house a little bit, but based on what you did last year, it's all gone, you hide your house very well. That
was our first year. Gosh, we've come so far though from our first year. It's kind of weird to look back because you're kind of like, hey, this was not very long ago, but look how far we've come. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our garage.
Yeah, you're actually in the garage right now. This was just a year. This wasn't the year I did the bridge in the back, was it?
This is Mortis Manor, the haunting of Mortis Manor. So
no bridge. This one had the spinning tunnel again.
the only home haunt to have a bridge. So when you're picking a theme, is it just you two, or is it a group effort with the family and all the crew, and or is it just, how does that come about?
It's usually dreamed up between the pair of us. We try to follow a very strict storyline, which is on our website right now. So you can go there and read all about the stories for each show.
I have a simpler answer though.
Okay.
He comes up with an idea, and I tell him what's wrong with it. and then I tell him how to fix the idea and make it better, and then I take over.
Right.
The stories on our website, our friend and neighbor, April Garner, she is an absolute amazing, talented writer. And gosh, we were at a neighbor's house swimming a couple years ago. And I said, I know you blog and you write, but have you ever done horror? Mystery, was that something you might be interested in? And she's like, tell me more. So she jumped right in and took over, and I love our stories that she writes. We'll sit and brainstorm about the characters and the pieces of the puzzle to put together, and she writes the stories, and then we build the haunt to showcase the stories that she writes.
Wow. That's a very different way. I mean, so now we're in year 2, and you've got movie quality makeup going on in there. You've got, I mean, how did you guys get into like how did you start working on like the makeup and the costumes and stuff? Like, I mean, was that
all her on that one?
Really?
Yeah, my specialty is like building the sets and doing all the electrical and lighting, sound, and all that.
Right.
But as far as the character development, that's this one right here. I think that's what really makes us work so good together.
Right.
I don't say it just because she's my wife, but I've just never seen anybody just make something like she does. Yeah. And it's amazing. And it's like, it's like one of my most favorite pieces. I don't know if you can see it, but it is a gargoyle that she sculpted, and I got it as a tattoo. So I mean, it's, I don't know if you can really tell where it is, but it's in there. Oh, yeah. Okay. But yeah, I love her work. I really did. And just seeing the stuff that she creates was what really inspires me to push even harder. So
yeah, that's cool when you guys can, kind of have jobs where it's like, that she's got that handled and she knows that you've got the building handled, but you also come together on stuff, to make sure that everything's staying. Who keeps who on task more? Like if Brian's like, well, I want to do this, do you put him back in his place, or is it both ways where you're both keeping each other on target with the theme and stuff?
Both ways, but you're probably going to disagree again.
Good job. I mean, okay, I'm the organized one. I'm the one who has the lists and the dry erase, board and the markers, and we got to get this done this weekend. And he just wants to have fun. And so you have to direct him. And you mentioned earlier about being off ADHD meds. That's literally your life. So
yeah. Oh, there we go.
I think the majority of the haunt industry has ADHD, and I think that's why we're all so successful at it, because we are able to mold it. Because see, I don't call it ADHD, I call it multitasking. And so like Liana said, I have it's not a board, which I need to get a board because I'm at that stage now where I need to have a board to keep me on task of what I'm doing. But I have a list of things, and I'll say Monday's this, Tuesday's this, Wednesday's this. And then but I will also go, well, I can move that to Wednesday and do that today. And then, but I think that actually is an advantage. And I think even Melissa Winton touched on it a little bit on her episode too. And I know we've talked about it privately as well, is that, you could definitely use that to your advantage if you know how to organize it, and I think that is not a crutch for a lot of us. It may be a detriment in the aspect of we want to do too much, but we definitely are able to do a lot of things. And then come up with these type of, I don't think a person without ADHD could make a haunted house. I really don't think so.
I mean, I think that's a good point.
That's
probably very accurate.
Because there is so much going on. You have so many things that you have to be able to think about while you're doing the lighting. Well, you have to think about where the wall is and what paint to use in that room for the lighting, and what color the costumes are going to be. So there's so many things that are going on in that same thing. It's crazy. So we'll get to, because this is where my absolute favorite comes in. So tell us how you came up with the idea of the slashers.
Okay.
This is something that she's always wanted to do.
This was my thing. It's been for years. I've wanted to do an 80s theme, but the premise of our haunt pretty much lies in the late 1800s with a family, but
and you're going in through our front door right now, by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
I found a way to make the story work so that the house that was built in the 1800s, that was inhabited by a family who did some very dark and twisted things in the house, there's a thread of immortality, where the caretaker of the manor, the estate, doesn't die because of the the well and the water that gives eternal life. And so he's keeping the house taken care of. And we're fast forwarding to 1980. What was the year?
1985 or something. 80 something, yeah.
I have to look at my own story.
Hold on.
But
we need to correct Troy. So right there, the exit up there, that is our living, that's our living room window that you're about to go out.
You're actually walking over our fireplace right here that you
you're
can't see.
over the fireplace going out the our living room window.
See, it's the freaking living. I'm walking through windows and walls in this place. I'm going in the front door, out the living room window. Now I'm going outside. They have this giant staircase that you go down into their backyard. This is their backyard. I shit you not. I left little poop balls in their yard because I kept shitting myself as I was walking.
I thought that was a freaking dog.
There's no way.
Come on, Roy.
I left little bounds for you.
See, I've gone through a haunted home haunt where you walk into the person's house, you walk through their living room, and yes, you walked through the living room window, but when you were leaving, you knew it was the window because of the way you had to crouch down and get out. That right there, you just walked out like it was a normal doorway.
Right.
We were lucky enough to have some pretty big windows.
Right. Did they open to begin with, or did you have to make them open?
They opened.
Okay. This is just it was this is one of those home haunts you go through and you're just like, the whole time you were immersed in it. You definitely felt like you were in those spaces. You didn't know where you were in their property at all. And you just kept getting the wow factor every single turn. And it was just like, oh, this is so cool. And everything made sense of where it was. It wasn't like the whole thing of having a clown space next to a zombie space and stuff like that. And there was so much to look at. And I'm sure there's little Easter eggs all over the place in here too. But now we're going back down again. I don't know where we were. We were in the backyard. Now we're going down again. We went like 18 levels in this place. Okay. I do like the walls. Because in one of the videos you had a wall that came down on your head though too.
That was our second year.
Okay. Did you use that in this one or not? I can't remember.
Not this year.
Okay.
All those walls there are missing our hands, Troy.
I know they need the red hand. I mean, they need the hands coming out of them. Oh, there's a monster in a box. There you go. See, there's some old haunting right there. And so each
second prop I've ever built was that monster box.
See? And so a lot of the rooms had slashers from the 80s in it, obviously. And there's your well.
Right. So the slashers were recreated to replay scenarios because Silas, the caretaker, liked to he needed souls. He needed teenagers to feed the house.
Right.
The teenagers would come and watch videos in the manor thinking it was abandoned, nobody's there. And he took inspiration off their 80s slashers films and recreated them on the property. Now this is not necessarily 80s slasher stuff, but this is a hint at something that we're going to continue growing and working on, the Hillside Sanatorium, which is the
this is
another
kind of
part
like
of the story.
a sprinkling of the story.
Look at I mean, just this is in a home. This was in your backyard, right?
Yes.
I fucking quit. Like when I saw this hallway, I was like, gee, are you shitting me? This is in their backyard. Just this is I'm just gonna
this one right here was probably one of the coolest sets that we had.
Yeah. That's so authentic. I just and then this part, this one got me. Oh, wasn't there supposed to be an actor at the end of that part?
I
thought there was somebody at the end of the hallway when the lights came back on again or something.
She probably was there, but then she disappears.
Right.
So they would go back and forth just to kind of trip you out.
Right. How many actors do you generally have every night?
About 24, 25.
Well, since Annie has been working around the clock helping, it's been, we have, I would say like minimum of 20, 25 actors.
And how do you get them? Like, how do you find them?
Now, Annie.
We have Annie.
A friend who, our first 2 years, there's no way we could do all of this just the two of us.
Right.
It's got way too big.
First couple years, we asked high school students from the theater department to volunteer. And a lot of times, get 10, 15 kids that would volunteer and 3 would show up. And I'm like, oh.
Of course, yeah.
So we'd go knocking on neighbors' doors saying, get over here, we need your help. And literally, and drag neighbors over here to help us on haunt nights. But then, Annie came along a few years ago because her daughter was one of the high school students that volunteered. And Annie works in HR, so she came on board, and she just gets out there and recruits volunteers, and she does an amazing job. How does Annie get? She'll post on Facebook groups.
I don't know her ways. I'm not.
She's just.
So you wouldn't believe how many people got a hold of me to tell me that the M was broken. You know how much freaking effort went into making that damn M blink like that to look like the sign was shorting out? They're like, your sign is broken. No, it's not. It's supposed to be that way.
That is that like when you pull up to the house, that's what you see. You see that, and then you see because you've also got that's the front of their house. That's the front of the garage. So like I said, you can't tell it's a house anymore. They have all the great facade with the big old moon up there and everything. And of course they have merch. I got my Fatal Fear shirt. I got it. They have really cool merch for the different years and the different characters they've had and stuff. But they also have Dawn and Mary Powell told me they go, so when you go to Fatal Fear, you have to have the donuts. And I go, it's a haunt. I want to be scared. I want to go, no, you have to have the donuts. And I'm like, what do you mean donuts? He goes, just go. You'll get donuts. It'll be great. And I'm like, okay, I'll go to a haunted house and I'll get donuts. That'll be cool. So you went from just doing a home haunt, and people leave and I'm scared, and then they run out, how did you get to the point where you were doing merch and donuts and selling stuff like that? How did that process start?
Again, like everything else,
he
comes up with the idea. It says, I want to sell t-shirts. And I said, you can't just sell t-shirts. It's like if you are driving down the street and you see a garage sale and they have 2 items on a table, are you going to stop? No, you have to see the entire driveway blistered with stuff, and then you're going to get out and go browse and shop. So no, you cannot sell t-shirts, Brian. We're going to have to sell 100 things. We're going to have, in order to get people to even give it their attention. So.
And once again, we walk around Transworld that year going, oh, no budget. Yeah.
Right.
Wife approves.
Right. For people that did in the beginning, you kind of glossed over in the video anyways, you glossed over the beginning scene. The beginning scene is you go into flashback video and you go in there and there is the counter guy and he's talking to you about, he's the one who gives you the rules and stuff like that, but he does it in a very blockbuster video type way. And there's old video, all the videos are on the shelf. And then you go through the adult section. You go through the beaded curtain, which I thought was hilarious. Where did you get all the videos? Like, I'm assuming not all those have VHS tapes in them, right? Or do they all have VHS?
That would be so expensive to collect all of them. I Googled and I made sure that every single video was produced prior to the year that this was supposed to happen. What was the year? 1980?
You said 85.
Yeah, it was like 85 or something like that.
So
I can't think of that now.
I just Googled 80s horror VHS covers, and I printed them out, laminated them, got foam blocks, and hot glued them around a foam block.
And hot glued them around a foam block. That is, I'm trying to get back to the beginning. I think if, let's see, I think in the very, very, very beginning, let's see. So yeah, here it is. So yeah, so right here you've got, I mean, this looks like flat out what a video store looks like. I mean, that part was done really well. I mean, you've got the shelves down, you've got the posters up on the wall. I loved walking into that, and I was just like, okay, here we go. One of my favorite, there was a pro hunt in Oregon that I went to one year, and you walked in, they were doing fairy tales as well. And you walked in the room, and the person gave you the rules and everything like that. And she was standing off to the side of a door. And you're like, okay, we're going to go through that door. And so you're kind of looking at the door. You're waiting for her to be done with her spiel, because I go through hundreds of haunted houses. So I don't need to know that I don't need to touch people. I know that. Okay. So I'm waiting. And behind us, the fireplace lifts up, and you walk through the fireplace. And I was like, I'd never seen that before. I've never been through a fireplace to walk through it like that. And so it set me up to know that, okay, this is going to be something different. This is going to be something that I've never seen before. And it stopped me from thinking this will be in there, and this will be in there, and this will be in there, because I didn't walk through the normal door. And I loved that about your guys, is where we walked into a video store. And so you set the tone. We are in the 80s. You're going to see 80s stuff. It's going to be all that in your face the whole time. I mean, you're walking in this little area, and the clerk is right there, and he's talking to you, and he's telling you to rewind, and he's telling you to, don't return them late while he's doing the rules and stuff. I really loved that, how that was really into the immersive stuff. And I mean, you guys absolutely shine with keeping it on your theme. So it's I cannot say enough about you guys. That's why I was excited you guys were going to come on, was because I knew that that you guys are just, you're like hunt heroes here. You're just, in such a small amount of time, you guys did this. What is, as you're, you guys just put this video up a couple of weeks ago. What goes into your actor training?
Before? No, you kind of wing it, just go, okay, do you have a heartbeat?
we take a lot off of Alan Hops's techniques. But most of the exercises, like you see us doing in the driveway right there, that helps us see what each individual, what their strengths and weaknesses are. How well do they pay attention? Are they in your face people? Are they quiet, sneaky people? So while they're doing the activities we're giving them to do, we're back there taking notes. And but other than that, we're training them on techniques and what to do, what not to do. They don't always listen, but
right.
Safety training.
Don't start rearranging props.
Right.
Yeah.
I think actors need to be told don't touch props versus the attendees.
Probably.
Now, when this is going on, are your neighbors just like, oh, okay, yeah, it's that time of year again?
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty much.
Some of those people in the crowd are our neighbors.
Yeah.
So
nice.
It's a pretty supportive community out here.
I was going to say, so you guys are in an HOA, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. So how was the first year? Like, did you guys go to them and talk to them, or did you just do it and hope for the best? How did that process go to do the first year of the walkthrough?
It was more, it's better to ask forgiveness than to ask permission.
You wrote a letter and
dropped a letter. Not to the HOA. I wrote a letter to
HOA. Was kind of like,
I printed out copies of a letter saying, here's who we are. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to fundraise for the high school. do a haunted house. If you have any, we want to make sure that we're not keeping babies awake at night or, causing traffic problems in the street. If anyone has questions or wants to come help, here's my number. And we pass that to, around to all the houses in the surrounding streets. And nobody complained. Several people actually ended up calling me to come help and have continued to help to this day. So.
That is awesome. I think I mentioned it maybe last week when we were having our Chris and Troy show. That
you mean unlike this one?
Well, yeah, this one has actual real guests, so that's positive for the people who are watching. That Texas seems to have a much more lenient HOAs with holidays, and I know there's a lot of HOAs in Texas because almost every new development, new housing thing is HOAs here. That I've noticed a lot of Halloween decorations, and not all of them are put out October 1st. I do see a lot that are out earlier, and you're dripping all over the floor. Oh,
I know, just all over the freaking place.
Just all over the place. That it just seems to be a little more supportive, and maybe there's other communities in other states that have, that have that too. But it just seems like I've seen a lot of HOA, comments from people that are, that they say, oh, well, they, they don't even like the 12-foot skeleton being up. But it seems like with Texas, I've heard a lot of people say, oh, well, we can't put anything out until October 1st. Well, most of us home hunters, we can't work with that. We're already too late. We have to put stuff up before that because it takes us a long time to put it up. And it just seems like there's a lot more supportiveness out here than there are in some of the other locations that I've, seen online and even in my own, old state. So that is, I guess we're just, awesome here in Texas.
I think it probably has something to do with most Texans just don't like to be told what to do. So
True.
Exactly.
True. And there's obviously basic things that go on in HOAs, like where you have to put your garbage cans and bring them in, and asking about color. You can't have a giant pink polka dot house and things like that. But it seems like with the holiday stuff, it's pretty lenient, and I think it's because of the whole thing of when. Well, then why do I get to put out Christmas stuff? Or why do you get to put out Christmas stuff, but I don't get to put out Halloween stuff? And so I think it's a lot of that. It's that way they don't want to be told what to do because then they get to tell the other people what to do too. Then, so we definitely have a question of the week. Christopher, why don't you ask this one since Susie's not here? Or Dan.
All right. What are some of the unlikely marketing methods that you use?
Yeah. How do you market your haunt?
Oh, geez. The cool thing about our show, it has grown organically over the years. We don't really run ads per se. I would jack with some ads online every once in a while. I would just spend maybe like $100 on them just so I could get a better understanding of how like social media marketing works. And but I never really pushed it. So almost everybody that comes to our show, it's word of mouth. And we've grown from, I don't know, like a few hundred people showing up for Halloween season, and all the way to what we did for Back to the Slashers. And we were, I don't know, Annie will probably have to correct me on this one, but we're right around like 10,000 or something like that. So it's we have a solid fan base. I like to think we do.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's really word of mouth.
That's how I heard of you.
That has heard about us.
Yeah.
And there are people that say, "Oh, you got to go see them." I'm like, "Well, heck yeah, you do."
Yeah, so. That's what I was told when even when I was starting to think about moving down there, down here, that I'm pretty sure it was Don and Mary, but it was probably also Steve that said, "Oh, you got to see Fatal Fear." Because I always said I wanted to go to Steve's. He's like, "Well, when you come down here, you have to see Fatal Fear." So we have to work that out. And so it was everybody that I talked to that was down here. Roland even said it. I'm almost pretty much everybody that I talked to about when I was going to move down here, they were like, yeah, you've got to see Fatal Fear. And so, I mean, that's proof that even in Oregon, I heard about you guys, you know, once I knew that I was coming down here, you know, and so it's word of mouth, and that, and like, for me, it was always the big sign on the end of the road that said haunted house this way, you know, and I would put them out, you know, every, you know, on like the main roads or the main intersection. I would put a couple leading up to the house, but that one on the end of my street that just said haunted house that way, always seemed to get people way more than anything I could spend, you know. But because you guys have to kind of stake into your neighborhood there too. But do you put any signs out further or anything like that?
This past year, no. People came up when they would just take them down anyway. So I think the HOA that said like, oh, you're not doing that.
Okay.
But, well, I mean, they would say, why aren't you on Google Maps? And that was one of the first things I did. It was like, Google Maps it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I was like, oh crap, forgot to put the hours. We have people showing up on Wednesday night wanting to be scared.
I mean, a lot of people will do that when they, hey, they're in a mood to go see a haunted house. It's October. A lot of times they don't even Google it. They'll just open up maps and just type haunted house near me, and maps will show, you know, the spread of haunted houses. But, you know, we're fortunate enough right now that we've had the luxury of not having to market because this is not our livelihood. So, you know, that's a luxury right now.
Yeah.
But, you know, one thing that has helped quite a bit is when there are, the photo ops and people tagging, and, you know, on Instagram and seeing our characters. And I would make sure, like, we had the Gorgalore, the big actomatronic goat.
Yeah.
You know, the 8-foot tall goat. And he wore, and it said Fatal Fear right there, so that when, you know,
when people came and took a picture, it still said Fatal Fear.
Fatal Fear.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think that's, and, you know, I've seen that at Transworld. They had several, like 13th floor, right outside the main entrance. They had that big Funko Pop box that said 13th floor on it. And it's become, I know, God, what is the name of that haunt in frickin', I always forget the name of it. It's out in, it's in Fort Worth. It's not Cutting Edge, but it's out there. They have like 5 rooms you go into where it's just taking photos. It's just photo op after photo op after photo op, and it's just room, and there's different themes in there. But everywhere in it, it says the name of the haunt, which obviously didn't work because I don't remember what it is. But in the pictures, it's there. So yeah, photo ops. That is a great one that, you know, you don't have to spend a lot on because you can just paint it on there, you know. But I love your guys' signs that you have out front, and I know those are all Cyclone signs, right?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let me see, our logo sign was Cyclone, and a couple other ones out there.
Yeah, yeah. And then like you made the cinema one, right?
Yeah, we made the cinema one and the flashback video sign. Yeah. And our neighbor made the Mortis Manor sign.
Oh, okay. See, you just got everybody in there working. It's you know.
The guy who made the Mortis, well, April, the one who writes the stories, her husband Jason is a very gifted woodworker. So he did the Mortis Manor sign, and he also starred as Krampus. Was it? And he was Jason last year too.
Yeah, yeah. So Jason played Jason.
Yes.
Jason played Jason.
In the cabin with the bloody Jason mask, but yeah.
Yeah, that is quite the Krampus scene with that, and then you've got. I love like this because I came from theater lighting. I was like, oh yeah, I know all that, and I'm like, I mean, that is
That's
a true
actually hanging out of our bedroom window, right there.
Right. See
bathroom window.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I don't know many home haunts that have pro lighting rigs out there, you know, lighting everything up. So that is, you guys are definitely on that trajectory. In that light, what are your plans for the future, if you could tell us?
Well, I don't want to go too much into detail yet, just because there are some things that are a little bit up in the air and still need to be ironed out. But
we've definitely outgrown this space.
we've outgrown our space. Fire marshal agrees with us. So yeah, there's we can't safely handle the amount of people that are coming in and out of here. And even though I know there's been a lot of nasty talk about fire marshals, I mean, he makes a good point. If somebody was to have an emergency on our street and they couldn't get there and they died, that would have been, I'm not going to live with that. So
right.
It's come to a point where it's like we either need to shit or get off the pot. And so it's time to just move on. We talked for a while about acquiring some land, just because property and our building leases down here in Austin. I mean, what is it, like $30,000 a square foot? It seems. I mean, it's a gross exaggeration, but there's no way that I would want to write a rent check for like 15, 20, 30,000 a month.
Right.
So we started talking about doing our own land and putting up a large building on our land. And going, okay, let's do this. But then we started pulling back on, this isn't us. And I remember coming home. I don't know where I was going, but I started describing to Liana. I was like, it's not us. People come and see us because of our craziness and what we do.
Yeah.
And how you go in through our house and go out through a back window. Now, you're not going to go through my living room anymore, but it's still going to have that same type of feel.
Right.
And when I started explaining the concept to Liana, she started drawing a picture of it. And I was like, yes. I was like, that's it. And so it down to where the haunt is still going to be attached to our house, but it's going to be separate. I'm not really too sure how to really explain that. But it's like, I think your most favorite part was having a commercial kitchen that was attached to the actual house kitchen. And then having secret passageways that left from our house and goes into different parts of the haunt.
Right.
And the structure would be built around our land. So yeah, I mean, I can't really say too much more, but yeah, she came up with, she was able to take kind of what I was saying, which was very disjointed and sounded like a drunk man, was talking like that. But
that's what I did.
And she started drawing a picture, and I was like, that, and at that point is like version 2 of Fatal Fear was born. So
yeah, we will be not haunting this year, which it's bittersweet.
Right.
Because it's going to be really hard not having a haunt this year, but it's going to give us also a chance to go see other haunts.
Yep.
And start building toward our final goal.
Right. I've always said that a break is good. I've had a couple of them. Most of them have been forced, either by moving or just by necessity. But breaks, I think breaks are good for mental and for creativity. I found that when I've taken a break, the next year I was a lot more creative, and I was ready to go, and I felt like I had, just re-energized. But also you do get to travel. And that, like, you already have the problem where you go to places and you're like, oh, I want to, how to do that. I want to do that. You're just going to have a lot more of that because you're going to be able to see a lot more places. So that'll be cool. I think it'll be good. So would you say that it's going pro, or will it still be, and this kind of leads me into the question that Mike had, do you charge admission, or will you start charging admission?
It's going to be a commercial show.
Okay.
And I kind of want to leave the pro off of there, and I'm going to say it's going to be commercial because it is a corporation. So I mean, I look at all these home haunters, and it's like you're putting on a bitchin' show. You're pro. There's just a difference. There's commercial. So
for profit and charity,
exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't plan on leaving my career anytime soon.
Right.
And I like having that stability for my family now.
Right.
So, and she has a good career too. So, the way that we're going to operate this show, and I was telling her a while back, And I was giving her like some basic examples where I want to put caps on the amount of people that come through on a per night basis. So you buy your ticket, we sell out, that's it. No, you can't get a ticket at the, at the window. There's nothing like that. I want to make it more of an intimate experience where the conga line isn't going to happen inside of our show. And I can allow people and allow our patrons to stay longer. I want them to stay longer.
Right.
Because we'll have music, we'll have donuts and slushy and all that stuff. Just something to keep people entertained for a little bit.
Stop saying donuts because now I'm hungry.
I know, right? Oh, dude, they were awesome though, dude. Oh,
no.
You know you can never not have donuts now, right?
Oh man, no, I know. We're probably gonna have to get a second machine to make more donuts.
Donuts. Instead of panties, it's donuts now.
Exactly. So yeah, I feel like it's going to create a little bit more of a demand.
Yeah.
And just kind of, I don't want to have lines that go a half mile down the street. I don't want that. So I want to keep it within.
I don't want to burn my actors out either.
I don't want to start actors kind of moping around going like, this sucks. I've screamed like 42,000 times tonight. I just want to go die. I don't want to do that.
Right.
So I want them to have a great experience as well. I don't want them to come into the show. But yeah, so yeah,
I've been to some pro haunts before where they have kind of a queue line system where like you scan something on the ticket and it immediately puts you into a queue line, and when your time comes up, that's when you get to go into the haunt, and then obviously you program it with how many people can come through it at one given time and so on and so forth. But yeah, so there's definitely software out there that can help you with, keeping the, like you were saying, avoiding the conga line inside the haunt.
Right. Exactly.
Exactly. I think that leads into another question there, Christopher.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Press the button.
I'm trying to choose which one.
Yeah. So how did you handle your parking at the now old location?
I would literally go out front and I would watch people. So this is what had the fire marshal gone crazy. Is our street is
three cars width.
Three cars width is 25 feet wide, and apparently, from what he was saying, roads are really supposed to be 35 feet. So, okay. Parking would literally go up and down the street on both sides. It would go around. People would park wherever they could to get there.
We eventually got volunteers with vests and lights to go on either side of the street in direct parking, so that we would have cars facing one way on this side of the street, the other way on the other side of the street, because a car wants to put, no, wait, we had them facing the same way.
Yeah.
Because when a car pulls out and another car pulls out, they can't pass each other.
Oh, right. Yep.
There's no way to get around each other. So it was a nightmare. Cars coming. Yeah.
Yeah. This past year, we went out. I remember going out to the front, and Don was out there, and he was playing his character.
His HOA character.
His HOA character, that was awesome. But again, I remember looking at him going like, we can't do this here anymore. And he was looking at me going like, I know. It was just, there was no end to the line of cars that were going down the sides of the road. And they would literally wrap around and go down other neighboring streets. People would come up on golf carts. But the interesting thing is, you would think that since we live in an HOA with, what do we have, like 3,400 homes in this HOA or something like that, that most of our business was from Steiner Ranch. It wasn't. And just this year, we started using Brushfire for our ticketing and all that.
Right.
And I was able to actually get data that was really valuable that showed how far away people were coming. So, and they were coming out of San Antonio all the way up here, and that's where a lot of our business was from. Was coming up from the south side.
Wow.
But I know the original question was how do we handle parking? I don't think I think as well as we possibly could, considering what we had to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah, having a volunteer on each end of the street, telling cars with walkie-talkies who could come, who could go.
Yeah.
Where to park. Yeah.
Yeah, and just using time ticketing as much as possible.
Right. I think you might be one of the only home haunts in America that uses time ticketing. I mean, you have a lot of things. Like, you should just start writing down things that you're the only home haunt that does, because it's a long list.
One of the things that Brushfire was saying like a while back, and I didn't know this metric until just before Transworld, and our rep talked to us, and he was saying, you guys were pushing on your show nights, you're selling 200 tickets an hour. And I was like, holy crap. Okay. Wow. That was like 200 tickets an hour. And that's kind of go like, wow, we've been lucky to do like 200 people in over a course of a whole season years ago. But just to go to that, it's almost mind numbing.
Yeah. And I mean, like, when I went through it, I went through on a regular night. It wasn't like you did anything special or anything. And it didn't feel, there weren't as many people on my night, because I think I came on I think it was like I don't remember what night. It may have been like a Sunday night, actually. But I know that it wasn't, and I may have come later in the evening too. But
yeah, you were later, if I remember right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because I went to other haunts before yours. Right. But even at that point, it never, I felt like I was the only one there. And I know there were other people there, but I felt like I was the only one there. And not just because you guys paid attention to us because we were there, and you knew us. There was never the conga line. There was never, we pulled right up and parked, it was a couple houses away from you. And it felt very organized, for I know what doing a home haunt walkthrough is and how chaotic it feels to you. To me, it felt like, all right, this is where I'm at tonight. And I felt like it was for me. So you did a very good job of not making it feel like it was a chore, getting to it, getting up to the line, getting into the house. It was very well oiled through the whole thing. So
we still had our pain points. Our opening night was a pretty rough one, where we had to definitely work out some kinks on how the ticketing was working, because I wasn't expecting as many people to buy tickets as what they did, and because we still offered free admission when you walk up, if you just walk up without a reservation or anything, but you had to wait. But some people would just show up and they were getting in before the people that bought tickets, and then that caused a problem. We're like, okay, we need to revisit this.
Yeah.
And so we discussed, and next day we had more of a plan. Just to kind of took from the theme parks type stuff, where move them from this area and then move them over here, so they feel like they're going faster. Doubling up lines on side to side, just so it kind of gives the impression that the line is moving. It's not stuck back there in the boonies.
Yeah. Mike also wanted to know how many nights were you open? Like last year, how many nights were you open?
We were doing 7 nights, including Halloween. So for 3 weekends and Halloween.
Nice. All right. Let's see. I think that is time for the greatest part of this episode.
Oh, shit.
It's so scary. It's on fire.
Rapid fire questions.
He's leaving. He's rapidly leaving. So we're going to do 5 questions that I'm hopefully going to remember. Sean's not here to remind me because he's on a stupid cruise somewhere with his wife on his anniversary, whatever. That's stupid, whatever. So I'm going to go off my memory here.
You go.
I'm doing it. Here we go. The first one is zombies or vampires?
Vampires.
Vampires, yep.
Okay. The second one is how long, and we'll do this for 2 different styles. How long is long enough, or the ideal length of a commercial haunted house and a home haunt?
Oh gosh,
I know
that's a hard one. 35 minutes commercial.
Oh my God, that's what I was gonna say.
At least 15 for.
I was going to say 12. 35 and 12. He says
Okay.
35 and 15.
They obviously share a brain.
Oh, right. Well, yeah, we have
most of the time, but
right. But now your guys' haunt was what? I mean, it was a good 15 minutes, right?
Depending on how fast you were walking,
or how long you got stuck in the white people eater room. Yeah.
Oh yes.
12 to 15 minutes.
Okay.
You kind of want people wanting more when it ends. You don't want them tired of it already, you know?
That's true. The third question will be Christopher or Troy?
Where's Susie?
Yeah, where's Susie?
Hey, I can give it to Susie. That's fine. She's still on the phone with Spirit Airlines. They have not offered her the job yet, but.
Well, just because he's not on the video, I'm going to say Troy right now.
See, and I would say that's a little unfair because they don't know me. Because if they knew me, they'd go. Troy.
They were at the Texas Hunters Convention last year, Christopher. They came by our booth.
Yeah. Oh.
I guess you weren't there, Christopher. He was the one selling the horns next to me.
Yeah. Sure. Important.
Yeah. See. Yeah.
Okay. Silicone or latex for masks?
Silicone.
All right. And the last one, and this one's going to be good. The facade or the final scare?
The facade.
The facade, definitely.
Yeah. All right. See, that was so easy. You can stop sweating now. So I don't think does anybody else. I mean, we're looking at our comments here. I don't see any other questions. If anybody has any questions, put them up really fast.
Speak now or forever hold your
peace.
Peace.
Right. Looks like we got this guy. We have this guy from. Look, you guys are internationally famous now. Somebody from the
All
UK.
right, there we go.
Look at you. So that's good. Welcome, James. He says, "Great job."
Thank you.
He's over in El Paso. Look, he even says where he's at. El Paso, Texas. That's marketing 101.
Exactly.
We have a very good question.
You tell Bob Crank I will never, ever tell where that still is. Should we let him in on the inside joke on that one?
That's...
All right. So yeah, Don Powell, he was playing the angry HOA guy, and he was working our queue line for a couple nights.
There were some people, I don't think they thought he was acting.
I know. I threw him out once too, and that was hilarious. Like out of the movie cinema, I grabbed him by his waist, I threw him out right out the front door, and people will be like thinking what was going on, but he'd be out there to thrust off a storm out there, just saying that he's gonna find my still. He's gonna find the still that's inside our haunt. So
he just knows we're just out back there making moonshine. So
yeah. Oh, that was funny. That was definitely funny. He had people believing him.
I know. I saw. I don't know if Don has the video up. I know that, or if it was you. I can't remember where the video is of.
I think I shared it actually.
I think you did.
Go look up the Bob Crank profile.
Oh yeah. I am friends with that jerk.
And I think that's the video that I shared too. Oh man, that was funny.
There it is. Okay, there's Bob. Yeah, okay, here it is. Okay. I don't want a video file. Dang it. What the heck? Okay, so we're gonna do this share screen, but we're gonna do there it is. All right, we're going to share the audio too because it's worth it.
Was this where you throw him out?
Oh, this is when he was out on the street.
And you might see, is Mary in there too? And Mary's playing.
Mary's in there.
She's playing, is it Gertie?
Yeah, Gertie.
Oh, yeah.
Trey, are you sharing it? Because we're not seeing it.
Yeah, he's got a smile. He's enjoying it himself.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just this old crotchety HOA neighbor who hated Fatal Fear, and he's out there just yelling at everybody and telling everybody. And like did a lot of your patrons think that he was a real neighbor?
At first, some of them did.
I think some of them did, and the couple of times that I threw him out, so that was like a planned thing. It was Don would come up to me and say, "Throw me out, and I'll make it look real." I was like, "Well, yeah, he sure did." Because once he was ejected out of the cinema, people were looking, going, they were in shock, couldn't believe it, because we were out there yelling at each other and everything. That's him right there.
He's just out there, just yell, and he's not even in like a house. I mean, it's perfect. And that's, I mean, Don Powell. If people don't know, Goth Gloom Productions, Goth Gloom Haunt has been around for a long time. Inspiration to a lot of haunters, inspiration to me, for sure. They've been doing haunts for a long time, and their characters, I mean, they are all amazing people down there, and you are definitely in a great group of people down there. You and Steve and and Dawn and Mary, and then all the pro haunts up there as well. You guys are surrounded by a lot of awesomeness. So it's just, he's just going to town, just yelling. I'm gonna tell the HOA. I got a walkie-talkie.
Yeah, he was nuts. That was a good time.
Yeah. I think the last thing that we have to do tonight is we have to get everybody freaked out, because there's only 142 days left until Halloween.
Oh my gosh, Troy. Quit showing me that.
Oh, sorry, Susie.
It's stressing me out.
Sorry, Susie.
But Spirit Halloween stressing me out a lot more right now.
Right.
Not Spirit Halloween, Spirit Airlines.
Spirit Airlines, yeah. Supposedly she got charged for something and she did a flight and it did not charge her, and so it charged her card, but they didn't give her the tickets. So another hint to never fly Spirit Airlines. I mean, let's just be honest, they are absolute garbage.
Garbage.
She's been on they can't even spell it right. They have to miss words. But she's been on the phone with them trying to get out of them. How many days till September 1st? 5. You only have 5 left. Sorry. That's how you should look at it. You only got 5 days left. I mean, Ashley's got us ahead of schedule, actually, for the first time ever, with already doing panels for ours. So I'm behind on the Texas convention booth build. I'm way behind on that, but she's ahead of us on that. So, so I need to share all of your stuff about where to find all of your awesomeness. They have a Facebook page, Fatal Fear Haunted House on Facebook. You can follow along so you can find out when they are start announcing their stuff for 2025. And they are obviously sharing, all kinds of great pictures of stuff in the past. And you can also watch the videos from here. They have a YouTube channel, Fatal Fear Haunted House. Surprisingly enough, same name as their Facebook page. I am very saddened by this, so I need some more people. 38 subscribers. Come on, we need to pop that up. Because if you don't, I'm going to come to your house. They also have a Instagram. Who runs all your social media? Is that Liana too?
No,
that's I do my best at it.
Okay. Because we're trying to figure out what you do. Through this whole episode, we're trying to figure out what you do, Brian. But,
I don't know at this point.
So you can look at all their cool pictures and stuff like that. And they have a TikTok as well. Obviously, 2 of them are unsafe for work, so please watch those while you're at work. That'll be great. And they have their website, fatalfear.com. So you can here's their origin story, so you can read about that. They have obviously their walkthrough video and their awesome not paid for reviews, because they only pay me for the reviews. And
you would think they would have gotten better quality for their money.
Well, yeah, my review's not even on here. I mean, it was like 18 paragraphs long. I went into grave detail about this, and they still won't post it. But whatever.
It was a
17 pages. 17 pages for.
This guy didn't even say anything, and I mean, okay, don't post mine. Whatever.
I was going to say 17 of the pages was about the fact that you walked out their window.
I did. I walked out their fucking window. So check out all of their stuff. Brian makes the yes, he does, Don. So I think we have come to the end of our program tonight. Christopher, why don't you tell them what they've won on tonight's game of Haunt Hour?
Oh man, we're giving away prizes now. God, what the?
The prize is next week's guest.
Oh, well then, who do we have coming on next week, Troy?
They get to win an episode with David Cowger of the Unknown Haunt. Ooh, he is also a Home Haunter Award winner as well. So makes all kinds of props and makes a really cool home haunt. So we will talk with him next week on the Haunt Hour. The Haunt Hours.
You have to work on that a little bit.
I know. We need to make a new logo that has an S on it instead of just Haunt Hour. So thank you very much for joining us tonight. You guys have an amazing haunt, and we cannot wait to, like Heidi said, we cannot wait to see what you guys do for 2025 and beyond. Oh, she's been all over this thing. She's been talking all kinds of stuff and letting us in on all kinds of secrets and everything. It's been great. So yeah, thank you for joining us. And
Thank you, Troy.
Yeah,
it was fun.
Thanks, Christopher, for helping out yet again.
I'm happy to do so.
I know you're a good friend. You're a good friend.
I guess we're going to see you next month at Texas Haunter Convention.
All four of us will be at Texas Haunters Convention.
Yes, we will.
Woohoo!
Yes, we will. And yeah, so we will see you guys in a month, and we'll see everybody else back next Tuesday night, same time, same channel, and 5 brand new cars.
Same haunt time, same haunt channel.
That's right. So thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
So long. Thank you.